Sweden/Bergabob, whatever you want to call me. Today practicing my 50B single. I see this sitting around and it doesn't actually have a tuning slide. This is the one for my 50B2. It just makes me really sad, so I get this horn out. And I have some fun with it, because it's actually a really good instrument. Today I'm playing some flexibilities. It might not sound like flexibilities because I'm playing them articulated, but they are flexibilities because you have to play over a long range and you have to do it pretty quickly. And what I'm trying to do is make them very consistent and even. And right now, I don't feel like they are. I want the articulation on each one to be the same. I want them to all have the same weight, and I want them to all have the correct sound for the register that I'm playing. The pedal can't be woofy and uncentered. The middle note, the second partial note, also can't be woofy and uncentered. And the top note, I really don't want it to be like flat or uncentered. You know, I just want to center all these notes. So I might even be going too fast right now. I actually just did a take where I did it even faster, and it was even worse. Let's see if I can make those more consistent. So a couple things that I'm really trying to do is not move a lot. Not have too much excess stuff happening with my face. There's going to be some. That's not a big deal. You're going to have to move your face sometimes to play different ranges. But you don't have to like completely change what you're doing with your embouchure per range. Or you shouldn't have to. And I'm also trying to make each note touch the next note. It's really easy for me to kind of shy away and go bop, bop, and like separate them by a lot. So it's way easier. But it's better to really connect them. And this gets harder as I go down. Let's see if I can just start on A flat. Yeah, the attack, super air first. You really have to start the pedals with the chops together and the tongue ready to go. So the first A flat was okay. The second one had that airy attack. I'm letting them get too far apart from each other. I feel like it feels okay right now, but I want the notes to touch each other. There's a little bit of hesitation before the pedal G that time. Still hesitation before the G. I don't have a metronome going right now because I'm running a video and I usually use my phone to make the metronome happen. But I can still have internal time. And if I let that go, then what's the point? Why am I really doing this? If I can't play a pedal in time, then why play it at all? So that feels better. Really trying to connect those notes. That's hard. Now the G flat. So some of the pedal F sharps, G flats, whatever you want to call them, fail because I'm too low on air and I try to play it anyway. Probably not a good idea. Some of them fail because I'm too open. I have my aperture open. I have that open before I try to play, which means nothing's going to happen, right? And some of them I shy away because I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be able to play this, even though I probably could. And having that thought in my head, oh, I'm not going to be able to play this, I don't play it. That just makes it worse. Let's go for G flat again. Let's feel okay, maybe a little too separated. So you might notice that when I play them closer together, they get a lot worse. Because when you play them close together, you're basically slurring it and you're just putting the tongue in the middle. So let's see what happens when I slur this. So notice how going from low G flat to pedal G flat, basically can't slur it. I can, but I'm really not good at it. And it shows up both when I articulate and when I slur. So I can't slur it, and when I do, the pedal doesn't sound very good. It's very woofy and uncentered. So that's something I need to work on. Maybe I should just do this. So something I think about to keep the pedals more centered and actually like sounding like notes instead of just blah, 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 is to kind of make my face feel like I'm playing in the upper register. In the upper register, I'm really thinking about a round aperture. I'm really thinking about keeping my corners down. I'm trying to keep a lot of chop in the mouthpiece. And guess what? When I think the same things with a lot slower, warmer air, it works for pedals too. Ish. Not that time. So half the time that doesn't work because I've run out of air before I can get to the pedal in any case. And that's me not metering it out and not realizing I'm going to need a little more air there. So that's dumb on my part. Since I just played all this stuff to try and make that G flat better, what happens when I articulate it now? So separated they're pretty good, the top G flat the first time, not centered, too flat. If I'm going to play a top fourth partial note in this series and make a mistake, it's usually flat. And that's because I'm probably just a little too open in the oral cavity, in my chops, somewhere. I'm just a little too open, not really hearing that next octave. I'm just kind of going for a partial. I don't want it to be flat, though. So let's try and connect the notes a little more and see what happens. So to play this, you could think of this a couple ways. You could think of it as a bunch of separate G flats that happen to be in a row, and you're trying to play each one of those by themselves. Or you can think of it as a string of beads, and they're all connected. It's all the same musical phrase. This is a really boring musical phrase. This is not a musical phrase I'd want to play, but that doesn't mean it can be bad. You still have to play music you don't want to play really well, and that definitely applies to this. So when I thought about it being more of a musical phrase instead of just then it got a lot better. And that's something that happens to me quite often. I get kind of stuck in a rut of just trying to play a bunch of notes in a row, and so I try to make it more music. Let's go down a half step, see what happens. So that one's a little easier because this guy gives me a little bit of resistance on the pedal F and the F, and F in first position is a pretty easy note for me. What happens if I play that in sixth? Still pretty good, maybe a little too separated. F is just an easier spot for me. I have a little bit of a break around G flat. Most people have this break. I have worked it up in the pedal register the last few years to kind of iron that out. That does not mean it's ironed out, though, especially when you attack pedals. It's really kind of easy to just kind of gliss through pedals, especially for me. But actually being able to just go on half-second notice, be like, you go over a page break and the next note is a pedal G. Doesn't always happen for me because that break is still there and I'm still trying to iron out. After F, though, that's cake. the slide to play E below the staff for no reason. I don't know why I was doing that. It's just a weird habit. Let's go down one more, maybe a couple more. Let's feel pretty good. It's getting harder to center the two bottom notes. It's always harder to center those for me, but E flat and the staff is pretty easy to play. The other two, especially with this closed wrap and a rotor valve, are in a little bit different place than I'm used to. Ooh, and I can get stuck in that pedal D rut where I play pedal D and then I play the D above that, but it's way flat, way too open, flabby, not a good sound. And the attack is slow and it comes in flat. That's what I get to work on. Cool, so that's just a little exercise I'm playing. It doesn't have to cover 3 octaves. You can play this right in the middle of your range. Or something else really easy like that to really make sure they're consistent. Maybe even 3 notes, half steps away from each other. But doing it over 3 octaves definitely helps. See you guys next time.